Hey, good morning, tribe. It's Pastor Rudy here again. This morning I was going over some study and researching and just praying and asking God for things for the sermon this Sunday. And in my study, I came across a story in the Old Testament that has nothing to do with my sermon this week, but it blessed me and I got lost in it and started discovering some revelation that I'm not going to use for Sunday, but it's so good I wanted to say something. So I'm going to put together this little devotional thought and hopefully it blesses your Wednesday. It's coming from the book of 2 Kings chapter 22 and 23. And what's so amazing is that a young king at only the age of 8 was called by God to lead a nation of Israel that was far from God, and worship was destroyed in the nation at that time. And he called this young king to find the book of law, the Bible, in the temple. And it was brought before the king and hadn't been read in a very long time. And as he read it, he became grieved in his heart because he knew that the nation was far from God, that he was far from God. So he tore his clothes and humbled his heart to God and allowed the Lord to speak to him and bring about a covenant. Then he took that book, brought all the prophets and all the priests and all the people to the steps of the house of God, and he read the book of law to all the people and entered into a covenant. Basically, they started a revival. And all the people's hearts turned back to the Lord in that moment. But the cool thing about the story is that King Josiah, he continued and not just reading the Bible in the house of God and inspiring hearts, but he went through all of the land and started destroying the sacred pillars and the false idols and the false gods that were in the country and in the land at that time. And furthermore, in chapter 23, in verse 16, it says, "Now when Josiah turned, he saw the graves that were there on the mountain, and he sent and took the bones from the graves and burned them on the altar and defiled it according to the word of the Lord, which the man of God proclaimed, who proclaimed these things." So Josiah wasn't content just leveling all the old false temples and false gods and idols. He went to the point where the bones of the old false priests that were already buried, dead and gone, he took the bones out, ground them down, burned them on the altar. And that means a whole lot to me because bones in the Bible signify and represent life and somebody's whole well-being. So he says, even though they're buried and we think that they're gone, I want to make a statement by taking even the well-being of the history of these false gods and put them on the altar of God. And I love that because in our hearts, even though we feel like we're in a good mood and life is going okay, every now and then something comes out of our heart that we say, where did that come from? Where did that anger come from? Where did that hatred come from? Where did that bitterness come from? Because there may be bones in our past that are still in our heart that maybe we haven't truly forgiven somebody. Or maybe there was something we did as a bad habit and we never forgave ourselves. Now, I'm not telling you to go chase demons and to go chase the bones of your past. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you that when something comes out of your heart that is contrary to the nature of God, ask the Lord, is there something there that I haven't fully allowed you to heal? And allow those things to be gone forever. And I love the story. I think I shared this last Sunday in the sermon, that I think it was Napoleon, not Napoleon Dynamite, but Napoleon the Conqueror, when he would arrive in all the ships to a new country to conquer, his army would stand on the shore and he would burn the boats. And that was a statement of saying there's no opportunity for retreat. There's no opportunity to run in fear. We need to conquer this, otherwise we die. And I feel like in a metaphoric state, that's what we need to have as believers. We need to say, God, I don't just want to read your word. I don't just want to go to church. I want my heart to be so pure, meaning one element, that I want to let everything out of my heart that is not you to be gone, defiled before you and on your altar, so that in my heart I can have the confidence and the conviction to say, God, there's no opportunity for me to run back in fear. There's no opportunity for retreat. I am for you 110%, and I ask you to guide me step by step. So tribe, I just pray you be blessed today. Even if you're not part of tribe, I ask that you be blessed today. And I hope you enjoyed this time. It blessed my heart and I hope it blessed yours. God bless you. Have a great rest of your week.